board of directors at the Porter House, as well as serving as a guide at the Porter House. Porter House to me is a kind of exotic place. Bert Porter basically was a trust fund baby, and so he didn't really have to work through most of his adult life, and he could pursue his passions instead. One of the things that he clearly had was a passion for adventure. That was stoked, you can see by his reading. He has several volumes by William B., who eventually became the president of the New York Geological Society. And Bert's accounts of his adventures in South America is recorded in, I think there are 6 volumes in this collection, Snapshots in South America. One of the stories Bert tells in his Snapshots of South America is about a canoe trip down the Potamaro River in Guyana, the country he read about in Beebe's book. And one of the things he talks about is going fishing for fish that weigh between 150 and 200 pounds, the same weight that I am. And what they caught those fish with is this pointed spear. He's brought home, he's purchased an example to show people. And what they did was they stood up in these dugouts, and when they saw one of these large fish swimming, they would take this spear and throw it. And you can see by the spear that it's got a barbed metal head and a long length of cord attached to the throwing shaft. And when it hit the fish, what would happen is the cord would unwind and the shaft would float along the top of the water, and the hunters could trace the fish as it swam away from them. And then when they got close enough with it, they would throw a number of other spears into it to kill it, and then haul it on board these very, very sort of narrow but very long dugout wooden canoes. And Bert saw all of that happen. One of the stories that Bert relates that's an adventure is when he's in the island of Dominica. He wants to go up to a place called the Boiling Lake. It's a volcanic lake, which is even today 8 miles of walking up a mountain from the nearest road. The other man who was with him, a man named Geddes, decides no, he's going to go back to the English club in the city. But Bert and the guide he's with persevere up the mountain. And they have plenty of misadventures. The most funny one to me, I guess, is they came to a very deep gorge over a stream, a rushing stream, and there were no bridges. And so what the guide does is takes out his machete, cuts down a 6-inch tree, fells it over the gorge, and then runs across and wants Bert to follow him. Bert, as soon as he steps on it, falls off it. And so the guide ran back, and keep in mind now, Bert is a good-sized man, at least 6'3". His guide picked him up and carried him across the gorge on top of the tree so that they could get to the Boiling Lake. Since I'm talking about Bert Porter as an adventurous soul, I wanted to do one more thing and talk a little bit about his photos. He's known for pictures of the native people he encountered, either partially clothed or unclothed, and this has raised some eyebrows. But Bert also liked to show pictures of himself unclothed, and if you go through his travel diaries, you see plenty of those.